By the time I started high school, I had done every kind of drug you could possibly imagine. I introduced her into that part of life and that lifestyle.
For about 2 years, we kind of got on a binge, and then I ended up getting pregnant after those 2 years. It wasn't like he got down on his knee and asked me to marry him. You know, it was like, hey, I'm pregnant. We are going to have to get married. It was just hard because I was like, really, this is not what I wanted for my life. And I had a tendency to blame him. I was very depressed, especially after our son was born.
After our son was born, we had our little girl.
I stayed at home with the kids, just kind of behind closed doors. One of those moms that is dealing with, you know, taking care of her kids by taking, you know, prescription drugs.
It was not any type of marriage that you would want or anything that you'd want your kids to see. But at the time, I didn't know that she was on the pain pills the way that she was.
I was just screaming, yelling, mad, irritated all the time because of my depression and because I was constantly looking elsewhere to try and find my happiness. I began to have an affair with one of our friends, just a physical, emotional affair that, you know, brought me what I thought I was looking for.
In the back of my mind, I knew that something else was going on. At that time, I began to have what you would call an emotional affair with another woman at a job. She would do her thing, I would do my thing, and we would come back home and basically just sleep underneath the same roof. She had threatened to leave and said that she wanted a divorce several times, and then when you see the papers and you realize that it's real and, you know, this is something that's fixing to happen, it was really hard.
I didn't care. I didn't care if I lived or died. I didn't care what happened anymore. I started snorting Oxycontin, started doing coke again. I signed over custody to him, and I remember I left the lawyer's office and came home and got high. I lost my job, I lost the kids. I couldn't afford my apartment anymore. I had nothing. I was left with absolutely nothing. I remember days being extremely hard because I couldn't talk to the kids. There would be times that I would be in so much physical pain because I missed them so much. But I had to relive every bit of what I had done to bring me to this point to get better. And just to have that opportunity for those, you know, months, just to lay everything down before him and say, this is what I bring to you. It's a big pile of just complete and utter destruction, and I need you to help me. I need you to save me from all this because I can't save myself. And it was ultimately God wanting a relationship with me and me having that relationship with him in order to be the person that he called me to be. It was every single thing that I needed, and it was Jesus, that he was the only thing that could fix everything that was going on in my life. Got to see the kids, you know, very rarely at the very beginning because Jeffrey was, of course, very standoffish, and I wanted to like rush in and rush back home and like everybody to see this great change that I had made. But ultimately it had to be a God thing, that he had to change their hearts to see me as a different person.
I had started going back to church with my parents. The more we went and the more that I started praying, I asked for forgiveness for the things that I had done, and during that time, God opened my eyes and showed me that, you know, Christ died for me. You know, how am I still going to be bitter towards her? I started seeing the way the kids were with her and how she was with the kids, and started picturing, I guess, our family back together.
Me and my sister and my mom were having dinner at the Cheesecake Factory for Mother's Day. Even though I didn't have custody of my kids, I was going to celebrate the mother that I was going to be. I remember looking around the corner and I saw Jeffrey and I saw the kids. They walked over and Jeffrey got down on bended knee, and he was like, you know, I know that there has been so much that we have said and done to each other. There's been so many different things that we've done to hurt each other, and I want you to know that I forgive you. We were just wondering if you would marry us again. And just standing there watching my kids and how excited they were, and just thinking to myself, you know, this is Jesus. This is what Jesus does. Our marriage now compared to what it was before is like night and day.
It wasn't overnight. It took a long time, but to know that he can restore anything, and we try our best to put him first, and so it's completely different.
If you feel hopeless in your marriage, get on your knees and seek the only one who can save any situation like this, because he wants more than anything to see marriages restored. He's Jesus. He's in the power of restoration. That's what he does. There's always hope because there's Jesus, and he's the answer.